1,000 tries.
You live? Just gonna let people in. I see real ass. Real ass for next week. I see you.
Yo, I've tried 1,000 tries, and there may be other guys. I'll never compromise.
We got a good guest today, guys.
There may be other guys. I'll never compromise. I've tried 1,000 tries, and now I realize. I've tried 1,000 tries, and there may be other guys. I'll never compromise, and now I realize. There may be other guys. I'll never compromise. I've tried 1,000 tries, and now I realize.
1 second. Checking my tweet before we go in. Just to subscribe. Let's give them a minute and we can start, guys.
I've tried 1,000 tries, and there may be other guys. I'll never compromise, and now I realize. There may be other guys. I'll never compromise. I've tried 1,000 tries, and now I realize. I've tried 1,000 tries, and there may be other guys. I'll never compromise, and now I realize. There may be other guys. There may be other guys. There may be other guys. I'll never compromise. There may be other guys. There may be other guys. There may be other guys. And now I realize.
All right.
Ready?
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's go.
I'm ready.
All right. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Guys Next Door. I'm back. So I missed last week, and I would say, though, guys, you did so good. I don't think you missed me. The show was flawless. There's a lot of good topics. I apologize because I think I cut you off. I cut the stream because of usability issue on the phone. So the
Don't
thing
blame
is,
the phone. Don't blame the
yeah,
phone.
oh yeah, it's me. It's me. Because I was about to go to a meeting when I said I'm leaving. The phone says leave. I didn't know that leave means abandon the chat and cut you guys off. So
Yeah, and the
I'm
buttons are
really
on.
sorry. I owe you guys on the momentum there, but it was some great topics. And again, it's great to be back. The Philippines was great. Motherland was good. Hot though, but a lot of interesting, things that happened on my trip. A lot of them were business, but mainly pretty good. How about you guys? How did your week or weekend go?
Gus, you go ahead. I'm gonna
Yeah.
upload something.
Yeah, it's been a busy week for me. Well, not busy because I was on vacation starting Wednesday and came back Sunday morning, right? I was in Myrtle Beach for a
Oh
boys
yeah.
golf,
You played golf
golf
on
trip.
Myrtle
How
Beach.
was
I
that?
saw
Yeah,
that.
Wow.
played golf for what 4 days. So
Wow.
yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
jealous.
yeah. It's
So you
fun.
played for you played
Hmm?
golf for 4 days. How did you do on the fourth day? I mean, was it you're ready to go or you want to play more?
Well, on the fourth day, I cannot really move my head because
Arms?
I no my neck. I don't know. It's probably the swing or something.
He's throwing
I,
his
I still
neck
cannot. I
when
still
he's
cannot move my neck like this way all the way. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
I saw a few pics where you're next to a big alligator, right? So
Oh
did that
yeah,
scare you?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, it was scary, man.
Oh my
I
god.
was like ready to chip in, but the alligator is in the back. So I was like either alligator or hitting the ball. I just pick it up then.
Yeah, yeah, smart. Are probably gonna do this thing. You don't want to lose an arm for that.
Yeah.
How about you, DJ Pat? What went
Eh,
on?
well, first of all, happy birthday to Mr. Coops. I
Mhm.
know I haven't
There
greeted
you
you
go.
today. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you. Thank
Um,
you.
I hope you had a good trip. I know it was fun and obviously productive. Um, I won't talk about all the things that happened to me, but happy birthday to you. But I want to ask you, how was the birthday cake? What I mean, I saw
I
that.
had a great birthday cake.
I have to show
Great
the
me
audience.
a good one. But I'm gonna say, guys, I'm still fucking jet lagged. My body is still confused. So I'm only on 1 week in the Philippines, right? So when I got there, imagine people are eating 6 times a day. So they've been feeding us 6 times a day. So between jet lag and eating, my body is confused because it doesn't know what's happening. Like you're not supposed to be eating at this hour at this time of the day. And then after a week, when I just recovered, the end of my trip, I just recovered. Now I'm flying back home to the US. I'm confused, right? My body's confused right now. It
Mhm.
doesn't know if I need to sleep, eat, or whatever. So I'm still recovering. But to your point, it's a great dinner for birthday. A great cake that was given to me by the family. So thank you.
Yep, I'm trying to upload it and it doesn't want to show because maybe it's too rich for. I'll just describe it. I think it's a cappuccino theme cake with the
Yes.
mug all around chocolate and then some overflowing milk and what a fantastic cake. I
Yeah,
hope you enjoyed that
it,
one.
it's great because everybody knows I love coffee. I want to be a barista. I've been really doing a lot of a latte art the last few years, but I still can't get it
Mhm.
perfect. The only thing I can do is a heart and a leaf, not a dragon, not a swan or whatever. But
So hard.
I'll get there.
You will.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you everybody again for jumping on today's episode. It's Monday. It's the guys next door. And like what we said, it always just gets better and better. Today we have a special. Um, we got a guest. I think everybody know him Twitch. If you don't know him, sucks for you. Legend on Twitch, not only on Twitch but outside. So we're gonna know more about him. You know, a lot of stories to tell. I bet you.
I
So
am very,
yeah, I'm
very,
dumb, crazy, and
very
fun once. So we're gonna squeeze a lot out of him. See, we can get those stories during those days. Those were the days though where I wish I could have lived that time because I think again uh, just right now living right now I think those years were
golden age
great.
of music.
Yeah, the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
But
this can be
I
fun.
have to say this before you continue. I'm very nervous. I haven't been this nervous in this show because of the
Right,
guest that we have today. I feel
that's
like
true.
do I even belong to the music industry or being a DJ myself and doing the talk show? It's like there's an imposter syndrome going on in my head. So wish
Who
us
are
luck.
we? Who
Yeah,
are we to
who are
grace
we?
him with his
I
presence?
know.
Right? Yeah, I
Who
know.
are we?
I mean,
That's it. So I hope I don't mess up.
well, it's funny you said that because I was telling my kids on dinner today. All right, who are your guests today, Dad? Oh well, I told him. I told them that what he has done. Like, holy shit! Like, oh my god, really? You guys are stepping up. You're leveling up. Well, it's us. But really, I'm also excited and nervous. Nervous, good though. It's just like I don't know where we're gonna go. So I hope everybody's ready. I hope we can get more viewers before we can get him. We're just gonna go real quick on NBHD, but we're gonna get him soon, guys. So send in there. He's at the backstage. We talked to him before the show. He's ready. Got a new haircut, all for you guys. So freshen up. So we'll introduce him soon. But let's just go to the first segment of yesterday's NBHD. So I'm gonna ask you guys though. On the plane, so I have not, and I was sleeping somewhere at some time. I was not really. What the hell are you watching, Gus?
What's on? Oh,
Gus behind. I'm just confused.
Oh.
Gus,
his TV is on.
are you watching the Warriors? Is that
FX
the
channel.
Shogun? Yeah.
Shogun,
Anyway,
Shogun.
I was
Oh.
sorry. I was distracted with all those ponytails behind the scene. But yeah, so I did not watch NBHD. I heard this was great. We close out with the one and only David Turner music, but we got the two of the trifecta sister of Capra music and Marquesa music, and then we got a lot of great streamers that started it. So again, it's a very successful NBHD. Um, I'm so happy what's going on right now every Sunday NBHD. They like the 90 minutes format, and we just keep getting more people in it, making the NBHD, the neighborhood community bigger every Sunday. We even have some other collab with other Sunday raid trains, so that's great, because I know 2 weeks ago we got Chris Morgs from across the pond to play with us, although they have a Sunday raid train. So I'm glad he was there. We can get more of those, like Mike Freak, hopefully Lee Buxton, Ritchie Levers. Hopefully we can get those soon. But again, they're family, and we're happy to have anybody. So if you're listening right now and you want to join our Sunday raid trains, please reach out to me or Boy G, because I think we really want to extend this to everybody. It's not a competition. It's more of like showcasing a lot of other Twitch family on Twitch, right? All right, guys. So are we ready?
I think we should.
Are we ready for
go.
this?
Yeah, let's do
Mhm.
it.
Is the audience ready for this? All right. Well, without further ado, let me just give a context of who's our guest for today. So, big promoter, super big promoter, known in the music industry for a long time, been to a lot of different record labels, very successful, a lot of different stuff. Track record has, I'll give you some of the artists. They're not big artists that really
No,
work with him.
not at all.
They're not. It's
they're
just
just,
he worked with
yeah.
Madonna, Elton John, Donna Summers, just the likes, Prince. So, without further ado, and sound decision, if you can, get him on the stage, we have today the one and only Bobby Shaw of Bobby Shaw Promotions. Hey, Bobby.
That blow
How's
up
it going?
was so not necessary, but thank you.
No, you have to have that entrance.
I got to ask a question. Gus, have you ever broken par?
That's a big
Bad question. No.
Okay.
You a big golfer, Bob? You play golf,
Play golf?
Bobby?
Me? Oh, I played at this course in Flushing Meadow Park called Pitch and Putt when I was younger. It was like 90-yard holes instead of 300, 400-yard holes. But no, I played once on a regular course, and I just couldn't. Course like a 90-yard course. Everything was par 3. It was 18 holes, par 3, right where they have the tennis stadium now in Flushing Meadow. So par was 54. I would do like 70 something, not bad.
There you go.
When I was a kid, we used to play miniature golf like it was going out of style. But obviously that's a whole different ballgame. But nonetheless, you still got to learn how to putt.
Right. So Bobby, I know you're a big sports guy. Football, who's your team?
Well, this is a crazy thing, and I'm going to tell you something about me. I'm sure you don't know. I find it odd that the two New York teams, well, the Jets and the Giants, are in New Jersey, not New York.
Yeah.
So to me, it's kind of fake, but nonetheless, I'll root for the New York teams. But I know you don't know this. I don't think you do. If you do, surprise me. When I was 20 years old and I went to school, University of Buffalo, and I had to pay my way for tuition, I was a beer vendor at the Buffalo Bills football games.
All right.
I used to,
So you're
in the
Bill fan.
freaking cold, it was like 0 degrees, and I was carrying around a tray, beer here, beer here, beer here, and I did that for one year, and it was, it put some money in my pocket, but it was in Buffalo, it was so damn cold.
Bills fan then.
Well, I'm not really a Bills fan, but it was conducive
work.
for me making money. I had to pay, like I said, nobody was paying my way. I didn't have rich parents, so I had to pay my way through school. I also had to, pay. I had to earn some money to buy my marijuana.
Well, we all did. Believe me,
Still do.
it's so do, right?
Will do.
Yeah. Well, put it this way: as long as you're not a Giants fan, we're gonna get along.
You're an
Because
Eagles fan.
I'm an Eagles fan, right? So,
Well, congratulations on getting Barkley, Sequin, and he should do well.
I'm
That was a
excited.
big
I'll
one.
be honest.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a big
very
one.
excited. We just signed back Gardner, our old safety, and then there's another one that we
CJ.
signed up. It's going to be interesting, to see our offense this year.
But I will
So-
say, with the Eagles, you expect it. But I have to congratulate the two guys from Michigan. What a year for the Lions.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
go.
Totally unexpected.
I know.
After so many 30 years, yeah, totally unexpected. But people are
And
stoked.
they,
Yeah.
that reminded me of my sex life. The last time I had sex was when the Lions won a championship.
Well, you told me
Or something like that.
Okay.
Well, put it this way: if it reminds you of your sex life, it's going to be interesting, going forward now. So you're excited.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was really rooting for the Lions. Like they were the major underdogs, and nobody knew they were going to be there. And come on, let's go. But obviously, they couldn't, take it all the way.
Yeah.
Nothing to hide their heads in a hole for. That's for sure.
So when you have sex, you can take it all the way.
Well,
Not
that's
the Lions.
let's put it this way. I tried to put a touchdown and the extra point on the board.
Oh my God, we're just getting started.
What a
I
start.
can't wait
What
where
a
this
start.
goes. Yeah. So, yeah, let's put sex on the side, and we're gonna continue that conversation. I guess for everybody that's listening right now, being a celebrity that you are, how did you
First of all, I'm
end up
not a
with this?
celebrity.
You are.
And
How
I'll
did
tell you
end
something.
up-
I'm going to just tell you something. So I've been a record promoter for many years, but I've always been in the background. Now I'm on Twitch and people see what I look like. People didn't know what I look like. Now I go to a club sometimes and there's Bobby Promo. So great to see you. My career was 45 years, Bobby Shaw. Now I'm Bobby Promo all of a sudden. It's really it's really something. But I'm not complaining.
Is it surreal though? You like it?
I'm not complaining.
Yeah. So how did you end up on Twitch though? You should want to let everybody know.
Okay, so during the pandemic, my parents used to have a house upstate New York. My sister and I, they left it to my sister and I. I went up there at the beginning of the pandemic. I was I live in a 21-story building. There's 20-something apartments on every floor. The media scared me. You got to get out. You're going to die if you're around people. So I went upstate and I was bored out of my mind because I really wasn't working. I was basically concentrating on the Billboard dance chart in that part of my life, and there was no chart. So I was binging on TV, and then I get a call from this guy named DJ Spawn, who lives in New Jersey, and he said my buddy DJ Kova has a show on Twitch called Tweak Music Tips. He's looking for acts. Can you help get us some acts? I can help you, but what the hell is Twitch? I don't know what you're talking about. So I started watching Twitch, and I certainly started watching Kova, and I was watching DJs, and I came back to New York, and we had lunch, the three of us, and I I got him something that really helped him. I got him David Morales.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. Okay.
Wow.
So that kind of like, not that he didn't have the respect anyway, but that helped really certify his show. And David, David's a great guest, and you can't match Dave Morales. And I got him the Strictly Rhythm crew to do a show, which was really good. And after that, I started watching it more rigorously, and I started following DJs. And then he said, "Why don't I do a show on you?" And I said, like, "Really? Okay, let's do it." So we did a show on me, and after that, just like people started following me, and I started following them. This was in 2020, and then 2021 came along, and the year was going, and I was accumulating a list, and I started talking to some record labels. I'm trying to promote DJs on Twitch.
That's
And
awesome.
it's not the easiest thing, and it was not an easy sell. Some people believed in it, and some wouldn't want to give me the time of day, and still don't. But I started promoting records on Twitch, and that's how it started. And towards the end of 2021, I said to myself, "Damn, everybody's having such a great time. Why don't I stream once a week?"
Yes.
And I can't do it during the week because I have my regular job. I could stream on Saturday nights, and I know it's a night when a lot of people go out, and it may not have a captive audience, but I'm going to satisfy my own needs and turn people onto music. So I've been streaming now for 27 months, almost every Saturday night.
Right.
And but the thing that really sparked it was Kova. Not COVID, Kova.
Kova. Oh, we need to get Kova on this talk show soon, also, because I know he wants to.
We got his main mod here, the legendess Sonia Fosio, by the way.
Oh, nice. So let's get Kova, because I really want to get perspective on how it's the whole talk show going on Twitch, and I want to see what he can say about us. For us, we don't know what we're doing right here. But gotta say though, your Saturday shows, right? I'm a big lurker, right? Grace is the one usually go out and chat.
Grace says hello. You don't.
Yes, yeah. But I you're right. Sorry, yeah. But I'm just fascinated, specifically how on your show you handpick a lot of these songs that you do for your Saturday night shows. There's always a theme. I think your last show I watched. I was on it 2 weeks ago, or was that last week? You're really into all women, because I think that's the International Women's Week.
Did that on the Friday for All Women's International Day.
Yeah,
that was a separate show altogether. Only women.
Yeah, and if you have not listened to Bobby, it's like you're just you're listening to music, but also you're listening to some of his stories. So that's why a lot of people come in just to listen how you pick your vinyl behind you, and you tell stories, and the pictures of everybody that you meet, like you showcase them. That is that is amazing.
Well, the thing is, not only have I met most of them, I promoted most of their records.
Yeah, right. So it's just there's a lot of pictures there, and then I said I can't wait to see Bobby. Maybe he could put my pictures maybe on the show. But no, seriously. I do. I know we talk about it when we are up there in New York City. We will visit you. We have to have lunch, and then I will know a lot more of these stories. All right.
No, I've been blessed. I've been working for Warner Brothers and MCA Records in particular. Working for those two labels, especially even though Warner's was 5 years, it was such a learning experience for me. I was actually there was Honey Flo did a show today.
Oh, okay.
And she was talking about issues with failing, and I butted in like I normally do, and I was telling them, like, when I worked at Warner Brothers, I had a boss who, even though I was great 5 years there, a boss of mine was like, anytime something went wrong, it was always Bobby Shaw's fault. And it drove me a little crazy. And I had tremendous anxiety, and drove me a little nuts. But I went for therapy. I always like to tell this story for some reason. I went for therapy. And learned about anxiety, and it's okay to fail. And I always try to tell, like, it's okay to fail. And I find it to be a very vital in someone's life that if you fail, it's okay.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I always tell this to my kids and some of the people I mentor at work. For us, I tell them it's failure is actually part of learning, right? So if you don't fail, you don't learn, right? That's just a human nature of. I mean, that's how education is based from, right? It's trial and error, right? So learning is really what makes a person be better. So that's great. Yeah, I feel like failing for some people, it's something negative, but I think failing, at least for me, if I fail, I know that I'm going to be better afterwards.
It,
Although I would say though, if you keep doing it, then there's something wrong with that. So you
well,
have
like I
to
said,
learn about that.
I went for help, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was like,
exactly.
I always thought like, going for therapy. Oh my God, what a waste of time! And
Yeah.
now I always tell everybody, if you have an issue, talk to somebody who doesn't know you. It's a great thing to do.
Well, let me ask that question because I see. I mean, since we're on that topic, why do you think people don't want to get help? There are some people like why do you think that is?
I I can only say people are probably afraid. Like I said, I never believed in therapy, but man, there was one morning I called my parents up and like, Dad, you got to get me to a hospital. I'm sweating like bullets.
Mm,
They took me to a hospital. There was nothing wrong with me.
mm.
It was just the anxiety in me that there was one person who really caused a lot of issues for me at Warner Brothers. And I'm glad I'm not there anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah,
That was a long time ago, like 1984 was over. But nonetheless, I just think people just don't think of things like that. I mean, I never did. It was a friend of mine who suggested it to me. It
Okay.
wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go find a psychiatrist. Somebody recommended somebody to me. And the guy actually said to me, you don't have to come here anymore. You're okay. And he was right. We figured out what the issue was. And, I could have been taking my money every week, but he said, you don't need to come here anymore.
That's great.
That's great.
And
Yeah.
that also means you got good friends to tell you that. Because sometimes, there are people that, even though they're friends, they hate to hear that. But I think good friends will tell them up straight, hey, you need help. Because that's where, you know that they want to help you, right?
Yeah, 40 years later, we're still good friends.
Absolutely. Yeah. Those are the keepers, right?
A DJ.
Oh,
Oh, a DJ.
DJ too. DJs are great. I always gonna say on Twitch, when we found Twitch, it's all for gamer, and we met all these DJs. The neighborhood crew. We met all these DJs around the world. They are so nice. What's up with DJs and being nice? They're just nice people.
No
I mean,
drama.
compared to no drama compared to going to Facebook or somewhere else. Like you see all these nice people that you have not met, you chatted, and not just DJs. You got people on the chat that are genuinely nice to talk to, and we made friends from people we have not met. Right? It's fascinating, but yes, this community that we're in, I guess we try to weed off drama to what Sound Decision have said, but it's been a great ride. That's why we're doing this, meeting
What's funny,
people like you, Bobby.
there was one DJ who I became friends with, and we talk almost every day on the phone. He lives in Europe.
Okay.
And I said, why don't you come to New York? Come, stay at my place. There's a free, I have an extra bed. You won't have to, it won't cost you any hotel fees. Why don't you come in? I'm not big on having company. And he said, well, let me think about it. Let me see if I can get some time off. And he wound up calling me up and he says, I got a week off. I'm coming. I said, you're staying here for a week? Oh my God, this is going to drive me freaking crazy. I don't really even know you. I know you from Twitch and talking on the phone, but he came and I never even every morning when I got up and saw him in the living room, it was like, I never thought about I wish you weren't here. We had such a great time. So I've met so many great people on Twitch, in person.
So obviously met a lot, right? Is there any experience that you had that, oh, I'm regretting I'm meeting this person, this people in person that on Twitch that want to meet you? Anybody? Well, you don't have to name names, but is there an instance?
There was I had one incident that was really sad and I really feel bad about how it happened. But I mentioned to somebody that they could come and stream with me if they ever come to New York.
Okay.
Now that particular, it was a whatever day of the week it was. I said it on my stream Saturday night. So that next Saturday, I was doing either one of two things. I was either going to Fire Island to go to a party. I was waiting for an answer to see if I had a room to stay, or I was doing a tribute to Larry Levan. It was Larry Levan from Paradise Garage's birthday. So I get a call on Friday afternoon. I'm here. I said, what do you mean you're here? I'm here in New York. I literally drove half across the country. I said,
Wow.
you're not really here. He goes, yeah, I am. I told you I was coming. I said, you never called me. And he said, but I put it in the chat. Didn't you see it?
Mm.
And like
Never confirmed it? Oh, crap.
I felt so bad, but there was nothing I could do.
Yeah.
And I went and had dinner with him, and I mean, literally, I tried my best, but there was nothing I could do. And like, he doesn't want, I mean, he kind of like sent me a very nasty email, and I felt bad, but there was nothing I could do. That's really the only bad experience I've ever had on Twitch in 4 years of doing this.
Yeah.
And to this day, I feel bad how it happened, but you should have called me. I didn't see it in the chat. You're telling me in the chat you're coming?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think they need to confirm it, right?
Oh, I felt so bad, and he doesn't. I know if he was here listening right now, he would say you're full of shit. But I felt really bad about the whole thing, and still do.
But that, again, you said there's nothing you can do about that, because there are people actually, where they're in Philly. There are a few who want to meet Grace, but we met a few. But there are times sometimes when we had something with the family, but we chatted. Okay, I can't do it. Get back and forth. We confirm it, but that's really the life is. I mean, people will understand because your life is not just Twitch, right? I mean, between those three you said, that's a lot of engagement. I mean, it's all fun. I don't know what to pick. What did you end up doing?
I got a place on Fire Island. I went to a party for the
That's
weekend.
what I'm talking about. That's what you should have gone to Fire Island, because that's party over there, right?
Well, it was fun. I was good friends with the DJ. Derek Carter was the DJ. Wound up having a meal with him, and then I went to see Ted Patterson, and that was a great party. And two friends of mine were DJing, and I wanted to hang out with them.
So you say you're not a celebrity. You're dropping all these names, and these are great names, and we're all jealous.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story.
We don't belong here.
I'll tell you a story. Shut the. Funny story about Derek Carter. So I went to Croatia. I worked for Defected Records, not so much anymore, but I did. I went to Croatia for their festival in 2021, and Derek Carter was playing a party. And I hadn't seen Derek Carter in a zillion years, many, many years. And he was blowing my mind how great he was playing. And I was literally standing right behind him. He never turned around. And he played one record. I just had to find out who did the mix on the record. I was Shazamming it. It wasn't coming up. I'm going to stay here until the very end. Because first I want to say hello to him, and I got to find out where he got this record from. So at the end of his set, and he was the last DJ, I think it was 2 a.m, he turns around and looks at me. And he said, Bobby Shaw, my Mr. Fingers 12 inches scratched. I need another one. That was a record I promoted 30 years ago. He said, instead of saying hello, he goes, my Mr. Fingers 12 inches scratched. I need another one.
What a
and ever since then, we've communicated, talk online, talk on the phone, and remain friends after that. It was a great bond.
It looks like I'm jealous. Your occupation, your career, it's a lot of fun. I mean, outside of the partying, I know you don't drink. You told me multiple times. Outside the partying and other stuff, what do you enjoy? What's the best part you enjoy the most of of this career? Outside of just meeting all these amazing people.
getting on guest lists for free.
There you go.
There you go. I can't blame you. Right? 'Cause, you know,
Wow.
not falling in line. You know.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
You
That
know,
is a
I mean,
that is
my
a
other interest, I'm a big sports fan. I watch a lot of sports, and I
Yeah,
like to
What's
go to the theater.
mm,
I like the Broadway theater. I go to a lot of movies. I used to go to a lot more movies before the pandemic, but
yeah,
that's how
me
I spend
too.
my time. I like to eat out.
There you go.
Luckily, when I worked for MCA Records and Warner Brothers for 20 years, I had an expense account, so I was able to find a lot of good restaurants, not on my money. So I kind of
Oh,
know the scene
sure.
here in New York of what's good, not due to like me, due to like the companies I work for. And you know, obviously I listen to music a lot.
Nice. Well, obviously, you
I
know
mean,
that.
something that might surprise you all. My favorite group of all time is a group called the Grateful Dead, and
Oh wow!
of course.
Seriously?
Who
I saw them
else?
for the first time when I was a young teenager. I used to do a lot of LSD and go see them and trip my
Well, you
brains
have to
out.
have that when you're watching those guys. Yes, that would be
And
more
I'm
fun.
actually going now. They have an offshoot called Dead and Company, and it's two members of the Grateful Dead and John Mayer and some other people. And I'm actually going to Vegas for my birthday, Memorial Day, to go see them. I'm
Oh
excited.
yeah, the Dead has a concert there. Well, I have to get when I see a Grateful Dead logo now. I will remember you because you know
Well,
I
that
get
was
so
my
much
favorite group
energy.
of all time. I traveled far and wide to go see them when we were in college. We used to drive like within a 500-mile radius and go see them. And we were also up and so high that there was no problem going home afterwards. We didn't care if it was an 8-hour drive because we weren't going to sleep anyway.
Yeah, that's correct. So I do have a question. I mean, I'm gonna call out Mike Freak because Mike Freak told me, or I was not hearing it correctly when we were chatting that you discovered Madonna.
That is
Then
not
you
true.
you you corrected me on one chat. No,
That
if
is
I
not
discovered
true.
Madonna, you'd not be talking to me. That was actually same or sign, right? But you
No,
are. Was it? Who was it?
no.
Go
What
ahead.
happened was I was very good friends with Mark Kamens. He was a DJ at
Okay.
Danceteria. Saturday night DJ. I used to go see him and then go to Paradise Garage. Sometimes Mark would come with me. I actually took him there for the first time. I was very close with Larry Levan, luckily. But I was always hung out. My Saturday night would begin generally at Danceteria, or I would go to Funhouse to see Jelly Bean, one of the two. Mark and Madonna became friends. I don't know what they were doing behind closed doors. I have no idea to this day. Mark is not alive. May he rest in peace. But Mark is the person that Madonna brought her tape to, her music, and Mark brought her and the music up to Sire Records. It just so happened that I was really close with Mark, and I worked at Warner Sire at the time. So I was in the right place and right time. So no, I did not discover her. Yes, I promoted her early records.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
I took her around to meet DJs. Yes, she used to hang out in my office sometimes, not often, but sometimes. And her and I were close. I mean, and I'm not tooting my horn, and I hope this doesn't come across wrong. But on the first album, Mark gets the first thank you. I got the second thank you.
Oh
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm very proud of it.
You should be.
Yeah.
It's
But
history, and it's history
It's
that can't be taken away from
Mm-hmm.
me. So
Yeah.
I am
I
very
know.
proud of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Did I
But
get did I get in touch with her to get free tickets for the concert? No, because I don't know her new management. But nonetheless, I did go to her show, and I thought it was amazing a couple of weeks ago.
yeah. So we were asking. I mean, how? I mean, on her age, can she still dance? I think she still can. People are saying
or
because people watch her
or
show.
sing or sing.
Well, you
Or
know, she was a dancer before she was a singer.
right. That I'm gonna say. I mean, Madonna is an entertainer, right? She's really not known for. Well, she's known for all of it, right? But singing was probably second to the
Right.
whole entertainment, right? And dancing, right? Because she's a total performer.
Yeah, she's
But
great live. I mean, it's a show.
yeah, it's a
It's not
show.
just her; it's a show.
So I heard a story about you introducing her to Jelly Bean
That
Benitez.
is
That
true.
that's true. Can you
That
tell us a
is
story
a
about that?
that is a
I took her around to different clubs, and one of the clubs we went to was the Fun House, and
Yep.
they were both they both helped each other out tremendously. And I will say anything, I'm not knocking Jelly Bean here, and please don't think I am. But when you think of Madonna, you don't think of Jelly Bean. When you think of Jelly Bean, you think of
You
Madonna.
think that's true? Yep.
yeah.
I mean, it really, but he was already a star. He was playing at the Funhouse. It was a major New York club. It wasn't like he was some schnook or something. He was already, a big New York DJ. But it just worked out. And I will say this because he always says this to me. On one of the talk shows, she called him her worst boyfriend ever.
How long did they dated?
Worse
I
than
don't
Dennis
remember.
Rodman.
I don't
Yeah.
remember how long, but obviously it wasn't that long, but long enough. Look, they worked on a bunch of records together. Let's face it,
Honestly-
the music they put
honestly-
together was great.
Honestly, I only found out about Jelly Bean on Twitch, believe it or not.
Well, I'm going to tell you another thing. I brought him to Twitch.
Oh, there you go.
I called him up.
Thank you.
And
Wow.
I called him up at the beginning of the pandemic. Like, what are you doing? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm home. I'm doing this. I said, John, why don't you come to Twitch and play? He goes, and again, he didn't know what I was talking about, basically. And I took him around to different shows and introduced. Not that he really needed an intro, but I took him around and said, bringing Jelly Bean into the room, and everybody knew who he was. And then he decided to stream, and here we are. But now he's taking a hiatus. I don't think
Yeah, I
he's
haven't
streamed
seen
for
him.
at least a year or two now.
Haven't seen him, but his daughter is a touring DJ. So
Well, I'm going to see them play Sunday in Miami. They're doing
Miami?
back-to-back together.
Layla
that's
Benitez
awesome.
back to back with Jelly Bean. Oh wow, that's
Him
why
and
I
his
want to
daughter.
go down to Miami.
She's very
Wow.
good. I've heard her play.
For sure.
And not for nothing, but she's nice to look at.
Oh yeah,
Not like him.
for sure.
I'm gonna say though, back in the day, who
agree.
needs a dating app when you have Bobby Promo to finally they put famous people together?
Yeah.
Just hang out with Bobby. You get
that
into
would-
parties. You don't need to
like
fall in line.
like I told you, right place, right time. I happen to work for an amazing record label. Warner Brothers Records was just an amazing, amazing label.
So
Yeah.
During
They're
the
great
70s,
A&R
right?
people. What's I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. No, I was saying, 70s, right? Record labels, late nights. Man, probably the stories, that it happens in that in the record label offices or show, right? Any fun memories that you can think of during those time? I'm sure there's a lot, but there's something that stick out that you want to
There's a
tell
couple
us.
of things that
Everybody's
stick
thinking.
out if you really want to know. I could tell you funny stories. When I first started at MCA Records, there were no such things as budgets. Like my expense account, spend what you need to spend. Eventually it came down to budgets. But when I first started there, just spend what you need to spend. That's what it was. But what really sticks out was when I worked at Warner's, Friday afternoons were the day when the DJs went around to different record labels and picked up their records.
Mm-hmm.
And they would go to RCA, Polydor, Prelude, or whatever, TK, whatever, and pick up their records. And my office at 6:00 on a Friday, everybody was out of there. Boom, it was like exodus out. But I had parties every Friday in my office. And there were some major DJs who would bring their records that they got in all the from all the different labels, and we'd sit around and we'd listen to all the records, not just Warner Brothers, all the records, and we'd analyze them and talk about them. And this way it kept me abreast of what I knew was out from other labels. And we'd sit there and smoke joints because there was nobody there, nobody stopped us. And we'd sit there for a couple hours and, get high and listen to music. And it's something I'll never forget.
That must have been fun, right? You know what? Nobody's stopping you, smoking a joint in your office. And then
Well, it was
after
more
that,
than one joint.
More than
But
one
There
joint.
was
I,
like
I
10
bet.
to 15 people cramped in my office, and we would listen to all the different records from the new stuff that everybody had gotten.
That
And it was
doesn't
great.
happen. That doesn't happen nowadays. I
I
mean,
don't think
how?
it
Well,
I
happens
mean,
nowadays.
how?
No. Well, first of all, no
uh,
one's going around to pick up records anymore.
It comes to you,
yeah,
right? The
Well,
records
it's
come to
everything
me
is
on my
MP3
yeah.
wave files or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It comes on my email that this is the new release from
Yeah.
Mix Mash Records.
well,
Why
don't
don't
you
you
guys
take a
miss
listen?
that? Finding records, like or rushing to get the first one. I know that was a rush back then. How about you guys? Bob, I don't know what's the scene back when you were, but do you guys miss that? Just looking for records.
I miss looking for records and trying to be the first one of the first to grab the records because they're gonna sell out. If you skip a day going on a Saturday, you're gonna miss out on the record. So you have to be there early. Now everyone has access to a
Everybody has
phone,
access to almost everything.
to everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, not only records, right? Like I I know maybe Gus, you can tell us how you dug through records of your uncles, but I had to go through record stores, and if it's sold out, you're done. You don't have it.
Yeah.
But back in the day, Bobby, I know you don't fall in line. You get in. So do you have any connection of getting records first during your time?
Well, there's a
Yeah, you
store called there was a store called Rebel Rebel on Bleecker. The owner was a guy named David. It closed maybe 10, 15 years ago, but I was a really good customer. And so he would get the new records in on Saturday, and he allowed me to come in an hour before the store opened. It was two people he allowed in, myself and Craig Coleman, who is now the CEO, president of Atlantic Records. And the two of us were privy to come into the store and listen to new music before anybody else. And then there was Vinyl Mania, where Manny Lehman was the guy behind the counter. And he was pretty well known within those days. And I actually introduced him to the owner and told him to hire him. So any good records came in, he had them for me sitting on the side. That he knew, if there was like,
This one's for Bobby. This one's for
I
Bobby.
had my
yeah.
package waiting for me.
And as we can see
I went
behind,
record shopping, and
Yeah.
I went.
Hey, that's how Bobby rolls.
how
No
many
line.
records? How many records do you have on that wall behind you?
Well, behind me is probably about 4,000. I have altogether in my apartment, because I have two closets that are full of vinyl. I have about 5,000 in my apartment.
Just in
Wow.
your
That's
I
a
don't
lot.
have any. Look, Danny Crivet has 80,000 in storage.
In storage.
In storage.
mind
He
you
blowing.
has,
have
I
to-
believe, 4 storage places with records.
Do you have to have that what it calls temperature
Climate controlled or
climate controlled,
Uh-huh.
to store records, or no? I don't know. I mean, do you need that? Because it has to be climate controlled so that it stays
I
in
would
great shape,
guess.
right?
I think in the Philippines, humidity. Do you get mold on your vinyl record? So I guess you'd have to take out the humidity in a room.
I would think you're probably right about that. Yeah, I never thought of that, but yeah.
I guess it's drier here in the northern hemisphere, so
Right.
probably not a huge problem. But
I
if
never
you have
thought
a
of
collection,
that, but, luckily, I guess my record. I watch my records like they're my babies.
Yes.
oh, for sure.
I play a
Yeah.
record, it goes right back into the sleeve. I don't let it sit
Mhm.
around.
No.
And when
Yeah,
I do
I
get a
love when you
scratch, I
handpick
like,
them.
oh my God, how did this happen? But it happens.
I'm wondering if I have a record that you promoted. I don't have many, but I'm just wondering. Maybe
I
you
don't
do.
know.
Yeah, maybe
do.
you have to find out. Well, Bobby, right? You have been interviewed by a lot of people. Your life as a promoter. I mean, you probably noticed that we want to go a different route. We want to know more about Bobby Show as a person. So some of the questions, about your sex life or whatever, we're gonna ask. but
That's a boring subject. Let's move
yeah,
on.
that's not boring. I don't think it's gonna be boring. We already talk about smoking pot in the office, right? A lot of pots. So I think if we even go to that talk about sex life, I don't think it's gonna be boring. But
That's a good point.
I will start with one question, right? About what about Bobby show, right? I mean, outside of you know all this partying with a lot of cool people, what other activities outside of DJing and everything? What's your favorite hobby to do that nobody else know?
I would love to go play a good game of ping pong with any of you three.
Oh my god! I'll
Okay,
take that.
yeah.
I'll take you on that one. So you're a big ping pong fan?
I love playing ping pong. I belong to a ping pong club here in New York. I don't go that often because I don't really have many people that play. My buddy Hosh Gorilli, who whips my butt when he comes to New York, we go play. I played with Carrie Vance once. He's another promoter, but I have a membership basically for when people come in from out of town. Because I'm a member, you have privy to tables. I mean, it's $99 a month, but if someone came to town, let's say Randall, you came to town, if you want to go play ping pong, we can get a table quickly. It's a great, great place.
Where's that? Wow, I would love to do that. I'm not really good, but I love ping pong. I was actually tell you a story. I was in Taipei for my layover, and their sports there is that their featured is ping pong, right? Table tennis and whatever you call it. There's the twosome there. Oh my god, the volley. The volley took I was watching the volley for 5 minutes, and then and then the volley that they're doing, it's not just like they're just doing the regular ones. They're actually doing fast serves and everything, and people just returning it. It's amazing.
Well, I don't put spin on it. I don't know how to do that, and I probably would be wiped out by the people you're talking about. But I just enjoy a good game of ping pong.
So do you do the pencil hold or the regular grip?
I don't know. I just have a regular grip, I
Okay,
guess.
I do the pencil hold because I learned because I have a buddy who's Chinese growing up, and they have this ping pong table, and then we're poor back then and they're rich, so I always go there, play video games, but I love playing ping pong and then basketball. He's the one who told me how to play the game. Again, I'm not good as he is. He can do it with the wall, I can't. So he taught me how to play the game, and then I love it. If I see a ping pong table, I'll play it.
As a young kid, I played basketball a lot. I mean, we used to run full courts. I couldn't wait to get out of school and go run a full court game.
Oh, here we
That's
go.
interesting. I mean,
Nice.
yeah, I was talking to Sam. That's how I am when we grow up. Also, we
I
can't
could
wait.
take you one-on-one.
I don't know. I mean, now you tell me if I go to Manhattan, pick a ping pong club, and then we'll go to one of the parks there. We can shoot some hoops.
Shoot,
Yeah,
shoot some trees.
yeah,
We could
'cause
play
none-
horse.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll take you
Yeah,
out for
that's
that.
better.
Yeah, because in the Philippines, basketball is this sport. There's no American football. Soccer is getting big right now, or football, but basketball is the main thing. So you will
Basketball's
see.
the only
What
thing.
was it, Pat? Is it per square capita? You will see a hoop.
Yeah, the most
Yeah, there's
hoops
a
per
metric
square.
about it.
Yeah.
That
They
every
have-
corner you can see a hoop.
Do they have an Olympic team? Philippines?
We have a World Cup
We have-
team. We're trying to qualify for the Olympics, but we have around 50 million point guards because
no
of our
centers.
height,
10 centers.
and not very many front court players.
Another one of my hobbies. I love taking pictures with my phone, and I love taking pictures of New York, of things in New York. During the pandemic, I did a lot of walking, and I wound up taking a lot of pictures. I posted on social media, and people saying you should make a book, and I never
You
did.
should.
But I really enjoy walking around New York and taking pictures. I do a lot of walking.
Nice.
That's great.
And I
for
go
your health,
record
Daniel.
shopping. I still go record shopping. I buy quote new old. Used
good
12
pizza.
inches, and I'll buy things for my program on Twitch. I go
good-
record shopping once or twice a week. Still,
Any good
there's a whole
places
bunch of
you
there's
remember?
a whole bunch of vinyl stores within either walking distance or subway stop, couple of subway
And
stops.
vinyl stores aren't dying anytime soon.
Not at
they're
all.
actually coming
Yeah,
back.
they're yeah.
Yeah.
Not at all. And it's great because since I've done the Twitch show, I've gotten to know, now I kind of get breaks on vinyl from these stores because I'm there so often.
Nice.
Doing the Twitch show has been like an amazing thing for me.
That's glad to hear. Well, Twitch is also happy to have you. So other question, right? So I know you're not you don't have kids, you're not married. Can you tell me more about your family and then just special traditions that you know that you want to share to the world?
Well, my parents passed. My father owned a printing firm. He wanted me to go into it. When I came out of college, even though I never graduated college, I came back and lived with my folks in Queens, New York.
Yep.
I had some issues with my dad. I got along great with my mom. My dad and I didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. He didn't like sports. I love sports. He was really an introvert. I was like, I'll talk to anybody. And I still do, as my sister used to say to me. But I went to work for my dad. He owned a printing firm, like I said, and it just wasn't my thing. And how I got in the music business, I used to go to this bar called the Barefoot Boy. And one day the manager of the club came over to me and said, would you like to work here? And I said, I see you here so much. And I was there because I loved the music. The DJ was amazing. And sure. So I got a job as a busboy. I was 22 years old. And then I became a bartender. And that's how I got in the music business. I got to meet a lot of people in the business through bartendering and the DJ who I worked with.
Yeah.
But and then my sister, I had one sister. She passed on December 27th of 22 of breast cancer.
Yeah.
She used to live 3 blocks. It was so weird. I moved into this apartment in 97, and I was living in this building in 96. And my sister used to come visit me. Oh, I really like this neighborhood. And like, okay. And then she decided to buy a place a couple of blocks from me. I'm like, oh my God, she's going to see me coming home at like 2 p.m, like zonked out of my mind. Like, oh no, my sister's going to, if I run into my sister and she sees me like a mess, it'll be so embarrassing, but it actually never happened. But my sister developed breast cancer about 12 years ago in the early 2012. And then she moved to Miami, and we were very close. We spoke every day after my parents died and after my mom died, especially in 2003. And unfortunately, my sister, she survived for about 10 years. And the last couple of months were just horror shows. I went down there and spent a lot of time with her. And she's a very missing piece of my life because we talked every day. And like I said, I went down there a lot in the end of 2022. And having to watch a family member, someone you're close with, deteriorate. And like my sister and I talked about everything. There was nothing we kept private. I knew things about her husband, and I mean, she probably didn't want anybody else to know, and this and that. And she knew things about me, and I miss her very much. I miss the camaraderie of that close friendship. But I have a niece and a nephew. My nephew really misses his mother. He lives in California. He calls me like every day. Just to talk, because he says he's lonely. My niece lives upstate New York. She got 2 kids and a husband, and she calls every once in a blue moon. But that's kind of my family. And then my Twitch family. It's not the same, but there is a Twitch family. There's a lot of people, like I said, I've gotten to know in the last 4 years.
Well, it proves on the chat, right? You got a lot of people here. I saw Mike Freak, Sonia there, Benny Bradshaw also. That who told me you are the Twitch uncle? Somebody told me that.
The Twitch uncle.
Everybody, the Twitch uncle. Like everybody knows Bobby,
so funny
and they love
because
everybody.
somebody in my stream I didn't stream this Saturday night. The past Saturday was like calling me Uncle Bobby. Like, I don't even know who you are. He kept calling me Uncle Bobby, but I've gotten the nickname as the mayor of Twitch.
The mayor of Twitch.
The mayor of Twitch.
There
That's
you
what some
go.
people that maybe I called myself that. I don't know. But I've gotten to know so many people. It's crazy. the funny thing is when you like you don't know what they look like, and like somebody came to New York and like, oh my God, they're a girl, they're not a guy. You don't know something like
Yes, yes.
not for nothing, but Sound Decisions could be a girl. You don't know.
Could be. It could
Guts
very
could be
well
a girl. Because we can wear a
Well,
wig.
I
That's
could-
all we got.
I could-
don't want to go into Gus's life, but maybe who knows?
Yeah. You will go to Gus's stream and you'll ask, is this person still confused or what?
But there really are times I'm like kind of surprised, like, oh my God, you're a woman, you're not a guy. And conversely, when I went on the Groove Cruise recently, and Stinky 365, I've been talking to for like a couple of years. He's one of Lizzie Curious's mods.
Curious, yeah.
I always thought it was a girl I was talking to, and I get on the boat. You're Stinky 3. You're a guy.
But again, you're on Twitch and you're going to New York City. That's like one of the bucket lists. You have to check or meet Bobby because he's so nice. If Bernimal is the happiest person on Twitch, I think Bobby Promo is the nicest person on Twitch.
Oh, that's so kind of you. Vernimal, I had dinner with Vernimal twice.
Yeah.
I met him a couple of years ago. I actually surprised him and brought Jelly Bean to dinner.
Oh, what?
Uh-huh.
Pat, we have to go to New York. When you're visiting me, that's our stop. We have to go to meet Bobby and see who's going to be bringing.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Let's do that. Please.
It's because of your personality. Like,
And I met Vernimal a couple of weeks ago. He was here, and we went out. I mean, I scold him. He doesn't return my emails. So I scold him.
well, he's probably
please
flying
return the
somewhere.
email.
He told me if he has time, he's gonna swing by Philly. Bernimal, with your schedule, I think you won't have time. But Philadelphia, we're here. Anybody who wants to visit Philadelphia, see me or actually they want to see Grace, not me. Just let us know, and then we will hook you. We'll definitely meet, take you out, and then see Philly. But yes, Bobby,
Tony Lukes, let's go.
you were supposed.
Oh,
Here's the story. So I was in the Philippines, and Bobby and I are texting, and Bobby said, "Oh, let's meet first. Maybe I could catch like a train to Philly." Oh shoot, I'm out of the country, right? And then maybe next time. But Bobby, Philly is only like an NJT if you like, slow trains or a SEPTA way. Just let me know.
It's a 90-minute train ride.
Yeah, so
It's nothing.
I'm here. But again, the nicest person on Twitch. You'll never find anybody nice. Because look,
there's an old
we chatted.
expression. It's an
No,
old
look, we
expression.
chatted.
There's an old expression I learned. Doesn't cost anything to be nice, but it sure can cost a lot not to be nice.
I
Stick by that
agree
theory.
with that. I agree. Well, I can attest to it because I think I didn't know Bobby before. It was Grace who introduced, and I just said hi to him because you were sending Grace those emails, right? And then we talk about, hey, Bobby, you want to go NBHD? And Grace would love to get you that. And then he replied. And then the next thing we knew, we were chatting about the Eagles, the Bills, and John were talking about sports. Oh, this guy's cool, I told Grace. So ever since there, I hook up with him on Facebook. And then, if I have questions, I just reach out to Bob. And then we got him on TGND. That's great.
Well, come on. Why wouldn't I do this? This is fun.
Yeah. So back to my questions, right? Do you have a
Yes.
family? Do you have any pets?
Do I have any pets?
You like pets?
I had a dog when I was young. Charlie was a nice little Yorkshire Terrier. My mother, I'll never forget when Charlie died, my mother was bawling like there was no tomorrow. No, I don't think I could have I would love to have a dog, but the responsibility would
It's a
not
lot.
be conducive to my lifestyle.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say that, it's
I
going to be a
would-
lot.
I go out a lot still. I still go out. I even go out after
Travel.
my stream sometimes. I mean, I went to the guy at Nervous Records birthday party after my stream at 3 a.m, like 2 weeks ago. It's like, what am I doing? It's 3 a.m.
Well, that's the thing, though. In Manhattan, you have to have that ready to go attitude, though, because my son who lives in Manhattan, like, you don't know where he is. If he's not at school or at home sleeping, he's out somewhere. It's just you have to have that ready to go attitude, right?
Well,
To
as
go
I get
party.
older, I don't go out as often. But when I was younger, man, I would like come home and the sun was shining and the people were walking around, and I was, in another world.
Well, I don't know about you, Bobby. I cannot stay late
You're
as
he's more energetic
12
than we
or
are.
1 a.m. Probably 1 a.m. It's my
Well,
my.
so I'll tell you, the DJ who came to visit me was Forgard, and he happens to be
Oh, we love Borgard. Yep.
20 years younger than me. And like when he left New York, he said, "You have more energy than me, and you're so much older than me. Like, I got to go to the gym and start working." And he has actually started working out. He said, like, "You got more energy than me. I don't get it." My sister used to always say to me, like, "How do you do this? What you do? How are you running around in the middle of the night?" And like, I don't know. My body is just like trained for it.
Been
I
doing
did
it
like
your
a
whole life.
10-hour
Yeah.
stream, and someone said, like, "How are you doing this for 10 hours?" I said, "Easy."
Is there, it's just that's
Wow.
it. You don't
It's
take
adrenaline.
anything. I feel like you have to.
Uh,
I have to be on something to like really go for it.
I guess adrenaline's the best drug.
Adrenaline is the answer.
I guess so, because I have to be probably vodka and Red Bull, a mix of that to get me going, because that's always get me started. But outside of that, I don't know. It's so hard
I've never had a
to
Red
do it.
Bull.
You never had a
You
Red
don't need
Bull.
it. You don't need it.
I guess you don't need it.
I'll
Oh
smoke
my
a
god.
joint here and there, once in a blue moon, but rarely. Once in a blue moon, but rarely. That's about it. Whatever partying goods I ever did, which was never a lot. When my mom passed in 2003, like I said to myself, my mom passed unexpectedly. I ain't taking no chances. I put it to bed. Whatever party goods I did, I put to bed when my mother died.
Good for you.
That's
And
good.
it's 21 years later.
No, drinking.
No, I was
medicine.
never a drug, like a heavy drug user, but I did do my share of partying at a minimal state.
Right.
Mark Kamens, the guy I was talking about, Madonna, used to say to me, "How do you go to work on Monday morning? You're like ready to go every Monday." And I said, "Well, Mark, I always knew when to put it down. Sundays was not a day for partying. The party ended on Saturday night."
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
There you go.
Sunday morning,
That's
I
the
guess.
mantra. Yeah.
But
People listen to this guy. That's how the way to do it.
well, work was always my responsibility. I was brought up, you work. If you're going to have a job, you better do it right, or at least, be attentive.
And you still work, and you
And I
mentioned
still love it. I have no desire to retire. I love what I'm doing with the Twitch promotion. I wish more people would send me feedback on my records, but what I'm doing, I'm kind of like the only person on Twitch who's really concentrating on trying to get records played for record labels. And,
That's amazing.
It's something I love doing.
Okay,
That's amazing.
How long have you been an independent promoter?
Well, what happened was
long.
I was at MCA Records. I was a vice president of promotion. I started there on March 12th, 1984. I got let go on April 24th, 1998. My fifth boss asked me to switch to hip hop promotion from dance. And I'll tell you exactly what happened. I said to her, and I could quote, I remember the quote, "Nancy, I don't want to talk about violence. I don't want to talk about guns. I don't want to talk about hoes. I don't want to talk about sex. I don't want to talk about killings. It's not me. And I guarantee you, Funkmaster Flex does not want to talk to me." So she says, "I'm coming to New York. I'd like to meet with you." I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
So it was April 23rd, 1998. We go at 6 o'clock. We're going to this coffee shop across the street on 44th Street. I opened the door and I said, "So Nancy, is this the last time I'm opening the door as an MCA employee?" I was under contract. I had 7 months to go on a contract. So she looks at me and she says, "You're such a mensch." I said, "Come on, let's go have a good cup of coffee together." And I had to have everything out by noon the next day out of my office. Like they didn't trust me, like take anything. Like you got to have everything out. So for 7 months, I had a choice of taking 60 cents on the dollar because I was under contract, or I couldn't work against MCA Records, do anything that would compete against them whatsoever, and I would get paid every 2 weeks. And so I said, like, this is going to be fun. So for 7 months, and I have nothing to hide here, I was getting paid $5,000 for doing absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Contract.
So I took a house on the beach and I partied. I mean, I had a really great time for a summer. And I used to DJ at a bar in New York on 19th Street. I used to come in on Wednesday to buy records. I would go right back out to the beach, come in on Saturday, and go right back out when I was done. And I had a summer that, you're getting paid $5,000 to do nothing. You get paid to not work.
Right.
Right.
Wow.
That lasted 7 months.
And then after that,
And then,
After that.
so then, I didn't know what to do. People, hold on one second.
sure.
Sorry about that. Thank you. So, people said to me, you ever lost your job, man? Your phone will be ringing off the hook. Let me tell you something. It didn't ring off the hook at all. I was in my low 40s, and people, like, I guess, I went to a lawyer to talk about jobs in general. And he said to me, for a guy who's a VP at a major label, you ain't making shit. But as a guy in dance music, you're making a lot of money.
The more I hear about Bobby Shaw's life, the more I'm jealous. I want to.
So anyhow, I'm in Decadence Records, buying records, a store on 23rd Street, and I hear this record called. Well, I didn't know what it was called, and I said, "Wow, Dennis, this record is great. What is it?" And he says, "The producer's right here. Do you know Keith Lipman?" And I had known him, but didn't really know him. And then we started talking, and the record was a record called Skin by a girl named Charlotte. I don't know if you know it. You can be right, you can be wrong, living in your own skin. Anyhow, So he said the record's coming out on Nervous Records after the first of the year. Do you know Mike Weiss? Now, my contract was done November 30th, so I could work records. I always wanted to be an A&R man, but unfortunately, that never panned out. I was always pigeonholed a promotion person. So he said, "Do you know Mike Weiss?" And I said, "Yeah, of course I know." He goes, "He has nobody to promote. Crazy Karma knows the record." So he had nobody to promote the record. He says, "Mike Weiss go call him. Maybe he'll hire you." So I went up there. I went up to see Mike, and he said, "Come on, you can work up here, and I'll give you a little cubby hole." So I started working Skin to the Billboard Club panel, 120 DJs nationwide around the United States. And not to say I was good at it, I had good relationships with a lot of people. While I'm working that record, a guy from Atlantic Records called me, this guy named Johnny D, who had a label called Henry Street eventually. And he really did not like me, but he called me and said, "I hear you're doing a record on your own. Would you want to do Tori Amos for us?"
Whew.
And I said, "Okay, let me hear the record and then see if I can do it." And, then I get a call from Columbia Records. We got a Mariah Carey remake of "I Still Believe," Brenda K. Starr, which I promoted when I was at MCA, coincidentally. And he said, "We're doing dance mixes on it. Would you want to work it for us?" And I never looked back after that.
That's amazing. Oh my God.
That's cool.
I had to leave Nervous because I was promoting records that weren't Nervous Records.
Jesus.
I have to say the pandemic greatly affected me. I was promoting a lot of records to Billboard. Then the chart went out of business. They disintegrated it, and trying to get hired to promote to Twitch is not easy. But I'm surviving. I'm not making the coins I was used to making, but I'm enjoying it mentally. And
keep you
so
busy,
important.
right? Yeah, absolutely. Well, just all the name drops. If we have 100, bits for every name that we know, we'll be on hype train right now. I guarantee you that. But it's great. Well, another thing, I know you're a sports guy. I know the answer here, but I'm still gonna ask you anyway. I know there's one on all the sports that you follow. Which sport you don't like?
I love tennis.
How about the sport that you do not like?
I can't really grasp soccer.
Oh,
I have trouble
dumb
watching soccer.
decision. It's gonna hurt. Okay.
Bobby
Why?
Promo,
I have trouble watching soccer.
Bobby Promo, I invite you to a Inter Miami NYCFC game, and we should be in the supporter
Where is it?
section in New York. So
When?
you don't have to fly.
You have
It's
to get
actually
him
on Saturday, I think.
What do you think about I'm gonna screw his name up. The guy signing with Miami.
Yeah, Lionel
Messi.
Messi.
Yeah, Messi.
Oh, he's elevating soccer in the U.S. So he's the
know what
number one selling shirt in the whole world. He
Right.
probably be beating Taylor Swift's merch. So,
Seriously, wow.
business
Well,
wise,
Bobby, why not soccer? Tell me more.
a lot of people
I
don't
never
understand
understood the
it.
clock.
Oh, the running clock.
counting up. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's counting up, and then at the end of 90 minutes, there's extra 5
And
minutes.
I also think growing up in the States, it really wasn't a big sport until last 20, 30 years maybe.
No, it wasn't. No, not at all.
And I was raised on basketball and baseball and football and hockey and tennis. I took up a little later, but I love tennis.
Who do you like in tennis right now?
Well, I love
The-
Serena. I always wanted to meet Serena Williams. That was the girl.
Ooh.
Like I love to sit and have dinner with her. But
the bi-
who do I like now? I like Yannick Sinner.
Oh, okay.
nice.
Yannick Sinner just won the Australian Open.
Yeah.
He's up and coming. He's only 22. I respect Carlos Alcaraz. I like his attitude.
Sure.
On the women's side, I really like Coco Gauff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
I like
Yeah.
her vibe, and
Love her.
I mean, I go to the U.S. Open. I've been to Wimbledon. I've been to the French Open. I haven't been to Australia. That's the one major I haven't been
That's
to.
one major you have to go now. You have to go.
Well,
to Grand
the
Slam.
greatest thing was Jody Watley won Dance Artist of the Year for Billboard magazine, and then she won the Grammy for Best New Artist. And because I promoted 4 number ones on Billboard, the Jody Watley's manager actually sent me to Wimbledon.
That would
Wow.
be nice.
That was kind of amazing.
Guys, you
God,
guys have to
Bobby.
go to Bobby Shaw's website. and
Bobby.
check it.
That was crazy.
Just tag me along, dude. I want to go with you. I mean, I'm just gonna be. I'm his assistant. You know where he goes, I go. I'm just gonna.
There you go.
So
I
you
wanna
have
Do
work-
need a mod.
He has
Do
a
you need a
trip. To,
mod in your Twitch?
he needs a trip to. He's going on a trip to Miami. Maybe he can. You can
going
tag him.
tomorrow morning.
Oh yeah. Speaking of,
Looking
so
forward.
you're going to the Miami Music Week, right? And you told me you've been going for 35 years. How is the environment there?
Well, when I first went, first year was obviously 34 years ago. It was in Fort Lauderdale, not Miami, and it was called the Winter Music Conference as opposed to Miami Music Week.
Right, I remember.
Supposedly, they're bringing the conference back next year. Supposedly. Now it's no conferences; it's just parties. But it
Nothing
used to
wrong
be
with that.
panels.
I'll do that.
It used to be panels and different kind of panels, and when it was in Fort Lauderdale at the beginning, it was in one hotel and maybe 200 people, so everybody was in the same place.
Okay.
And then the parties at night, there was one party, and that was it. Everybody went to the same party. Now it's 20 million things going on at once, which is fine by me.
Every record label has their own party.
Well, it's
nowadays.
not so much the record labels anymore. It's the hotels have parties and clubs
The
have
hotel.
parties.
Okay.
I bet you. What's your favorite go-to party then? The last few years.
Well, I really like Barbara Tucker's "Let the Singer Be Heard" because I know Barbara and I know a bunch of the singers, and it's always these singers who belt out songs. I'm very good friends with Danny Krivit. I was actually an usher at his wedding. I'm looking forward to going to hear him play. I'm looking forward to go seeing John Summit, who is one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Kids love him.
What's
Another
that?
100 BDs.
The kids love him. The
I have a
Gen
funny
Z.
John Summit story. I might
Gen
as
Z
well, we're
loves it.
talking here, right? I might as well tell you the story.
Yeah,
Go
yo,
for it.
go ahead, go ahead. We love to hear
Alright.
these.
2021, there was a record called Deep End. That was John's like first big record. And it was by far and away my favorite record of the year. And when I went to Croatia, defected, my goal was I gotta meet John Summit. This is like my focus is meeting John Summit, no matter what it takes. I want to meet John Summit. So, when you go to Croatia, you got to transfer planes in Amsterdam or wherever. I transfer plane in Amsterdam, and I go to the terminal and I see this guy, and I said, "Oh my God, is that John Summit on my plane?"
Coincidence.
Did we lost Bobby?
The story.
Did
When
we
I hear
lost
the
Bobby?
story.
John Summit is on my plane. Holy shit! I'm gonna what do I do? So I went over to him and introduced myself, and I told him I'm a promoter. And nice to meet you. I'm really looking forward to hearing you play. Okay. Oh, there's that picture. Oh my God, I forgot I sent you that.
Yeah.
That was taken at the airport.
Yep.
So, because I worked for Defected, the hotel was about an hour. We landed at a place called Spliff, which is about an hour away from the hotel. So, Defected sends a car service for some people, and because I worked for them, I was included to getting a ride from the airport to the hotel. They lost one of my bags, and I had to go to the baggage claim area to report it, security, and oh my God, they're not going to wait for me. But sure enough, they waited for me. And who's in the car with me? John Summit. And oh, this is meant to be. This is really, really nuts. So it was his manager, his two managers, himself, and Mr. V and myself. And, I'm talking to him the whole thing. Great. And looking forward again, seeing you, bullshitting the whole ride. Get to the hotel. We're on the same floor. This is crazy. The guy I want to meet, this is too coincidental.
You following me?
I'm walking downstairs at 6 o'clock at night to go see this guy, Luke Stevenson, who had a great record called Wasting Time, which I was going to be promoting. I don't even know if it had come out yet. Anyhow, I'm walking down the flight of stairs. Bobby! What is John Summit calling me for? He goes, Bobby, I don't have a power converter. They don't have one at the hotel. Do you have an extra one? Oh my Lord, John Summit needs a power converter from me. So,
my water's not working, Bobby.
and he goes, the hotel doesn't have one. I don't know where to get. Do you have it? And happily, I had two of them. I'll give it back to you tomorrow. I never saw the power converter.
You're right. Yeah.
But anytime I saw him, it was kind of like a running joke.
Did you bring did you return the power converter?
Wednesday night, 4 o'clock in the morning, I went to this club called Barbarella. It was an after-hours club. And I'm sitting outside. I'm getting back to the hotel, and I'm doing some texting. And who walks out of the hotel? John and his two managers. Oh, my God, you're going to kill me. I said, John, you'll never forget me. Just keep it. And his manager said, anytime you need to be on one of John's guest lists, just let us know.
Yeah.
So it's a funny story. So there's more to it. There's part two.
All right, let's go. Yep.
Defected 2022 comes along. The one person I want to meet is LP Giabi.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know if you know who she is. I'm sure you do. She's international DJ, but she also did mixes on the Grateful Dead. Her parents loved the Grateful Dead, and somehow she got herself in, and she did mixes on the Grateful Dead. So, I didn't know her from a hole in the wall. The first night I'm having dinner by myself at the hotel, I see John Summit sitting at a table, one over and one over, with this girl and guy. Now, do I go over to him? if he doesn't remember me, I'm going to be so freaking embarrassed. And he could be in the middle of a music meeting that I'm being rude. I'm not going to interrupt his meeting. So I sat there by myself. He gets up to go to the bathroom and sees me. Comes over and gives me a big hug. How are you? I said, and I heard them talking about the Grateful Dead. I said, John, I didn't know you know anything about the Grateful Dead. I'm like impressed. He goes, Bobby, I know shit about the Grateful Dead. Come over here. I want to introduce you to somebody who does know. LPG Bobby Shaw.
Ooh.
So he introduced me to the person I wanted to meet a year later.
That's awesome. Oh my God.
The crazy story.
You don't really need an assistant. I'm applying right now.
It's a crazy story.
Yeah.
That of all the people I wanted to meet the second year, the person who I wanted to meet the year before was introducing me to the person I wanted to meet. That it was just crazy.
Oh, I'm not.
So I'm looking forward to John's party on Wednesday night.
There you go. Well, I'm not surprised because I think for me, positive attracts positive, right? You're a very positive person. I believe that, good things happen in life for people who are positive. So we're not surprised.
I was so lucky. Come on.
No. But part of it's luck, but I think it's also, you have that aura that you attract stars. I mean, you not stars, just people.
Right place, right time.
Yep.
Sometimes it's luck.
Mixture of everything.
Certainly luck.
I believe in the attraction, really.
Yeah, I believe in attraction.
I think that's a big thing.
You might feel I'm bullshitting, but no. I
look at John Summit now playing Madison Square Garden. Unbelievable.
Telling you, all the kids.
Yeah, all the kids love. Yeah, they love him. Yeah.
It's funny. I went to I had lunch with somebody from the Netherlands who comes into my stream. They were in New York. And like this girl, I was waiting for them. They were a little late and I was waiting. And this girl walks into the restaurant wearing a John Summit shirt. Like, oh my God, I got to take your picture and send this to John. It was just like out of nowhere. This girl is like walking in with a John Summit shirt on. Like, oh my God.
He's
crazy.
So
but his work is incredible.
Yeah.
His stuff is just great. I look forward to playing it on my show, and he's definitely one of my favorites. And his stuff is so consistent, and he's a very funny guy.
Nice. So promoting dance songs. So the chat want to know, is Bobby Shaw a great dancer?
I used to dance a lot, and I used to dance all night. Now I basically hang out in DJ booths. I used to dance to no end, though, and I loved it. Not that I feel awkward on the dance floor, but I don't know. I hang out in booths most of the time these days.
Not.
But I used to, when I was like in my 20s and 30s, man, I used to dance all night. And, I would hang out in the booth and then, I want to go dance to this song, and I would go dance. So am I a good dancer? I used to be a great dancer. Am I now? I don't go on the dance floor too often anymore.
You just don't want to dance, but
it's my own shortcomings and nobody else's.
So that's right, but he's a great dancer. That's answered the question. There is something that you told me today, which kind of interesting for us, the three of us, because our car guys, right? So I'm gonna show something that you sent me.
Yeah.
Tell us about this news. Air congratulates the best ears in the business. Do you guys know that Bobby won a Porsche from a radio contest? So Bobby, I won't do justice there. So just tell us what the story about.
Sure. There was a organization called Active Industry Research. It was called AIR, like it says on that thing, Active Industry Research. It was based out of Washington, D.C. For 26 weeks, this company took 5 records, and radio people had to predict whether they were going to go. There was a magazine called R&R, Radio and Records. You had to predict the radio people had to predict whether it was going to go top 25 on the radio and records, top 40 chart, top 40, or not make it on the top 40. It was a way, like let's say Warner Brothers had a Prince record. They would pay this company to service this record, a Prince record, and then the radio people would judge what they thought it was going to do. Now, obviously, it was an incentive. If a radio person's going to predict it's going to go top 25, they're going to play that record to no end because they wanted to go top 25. I can't say it was payola, but it was a good way to get the radio people interested in the record. And if they said it wasn't going to go top 40, maybe they wouldn't play it. And this way was another way of getting feedback. For the labels, let's say Warner Brothers, again, I'm going to use them as an example, they would get feedback on what the radio people were predicting. Now, I was a record company person, not a radio person. So when those 5 records were not handed to me. I knew what they were, but whereas the radio people were getting sent them, I wasn't getting sent any of these records. I had to go find them. And I would call up the record company reps, the promo guys, and I would say, hey, is this record a priority for you? Because I knew if it wasn't a priority, it wasn't going top 40. Because, the record labels work on priorities. Anyway, I did it once, and I came in, I believe, 49th place. It was like 250, I think, people entered it. And then I did it. It was 26 weeks, 130 records, 5 each week. And then the second time I did it, I got a call from my boss, Steve Meyer. I worked at MCA Records at the time. And he said, you better sit down. I got something to tell you. I said, what are you going to tell me? I won the air contest? He goes, who told you? I said, you got to be fucking kidding me. He goes, no, you won the contest. You got to be joking. I did not know how to drive a stick shift. The prize was a Porsche 944. I had to go pick it up at a convention in Virginia. I did not know how to drive a stick shift. I literally practiced in a parking lot. A friend of mine, Steve Starr from RCA Records, took me in a parking lot. But I was the first person from a record company ever to win because it was geared towards the the radio people.
Radio.
Mm-hmm.
So after I won, the radio people complained that I won, that it wasn't fair.
Oh my God.
And they never allowed a record company person ever to participate again. Never. But yeah, I want a Porsche, and MCA Records had made them look so good that they had the promotion person that won the contest. I mean, it was a great feather in my cap too, but for them too. They paid for my parking garage, they paid for my insurance, they paid for the gas, they paid for everything. But it was an asset for them to have the guy that won the air contest on the promo staff.
Absolutely. Well,
yeah, sure.
I'm actually interested.
I was the radio guy besides being the dance guy. I held 2 jobs at MCA. I was the radio guy and the dance guy.
So for me, my head's thinking that drive from Virginia to New York on the stick shift that you haven't drove. How was that?
It was good because my boss, like I said, his name was Steve Meyer. He lived in LA. He canceled his flight from Washington to New York and Washington to California and drove with me to make sure I made it.
Okay, so you didn't drive it.
I drove it, but he was with me.
Okay, so
it was great. It was a sunroof, and it was great. I had a 944 Porsche. I couldn't afford that shit.
Free parking and free gas too. Hell yeah!
They paid for everything.
What a deal!
It was. I had it for about 10 years. And then I was going out to dinner with a friend of mine in Long Island, and I was driving on the Long Island Expressway, which is a major thoroughfare here in New York, Long Island, and it was snowing that night. And I went on the service road, and I was going about 50 miles an hour, and I hit black ice, and the car spun around and caromed into one of the metal things. The car got totaled. And
Oh
I'm
my
lucky to
God.
be alive today.
It saved your life.
Yeah. Well,
Actually, you can
well, it
look at
doesn't
it that
matter.
way.
The
You're
car got
good, right?
totaled, and it was a great
Yeah.
10-year experience, and it was great 10 years. I mean, I had a Porsche. I mean, I wasn't going to buy a Porsche. I wasn't, like I said, I couldn't afford that.
Damn, the stories keep getting better and
That's a
better.
crazy story. I mean, when I won it, it was, hey, I was blown away. Still am.
Well, you deserve it, Bobby.
Yep. I never
You
went
know,
in.
it was a lot of
Not
it was
luck.
a lot of work. That
Well,
didn't
yeah,
just
it's a
come off
thing.
like a
It
snap my
was
fingers, and I won it. Like I said, I was calling the promo reps.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something. After I won, the people at radio would talk to me like to no end. It was like I was a complete different person after I won that contest.
Oh,
oh, the clout. Yeah.
I
You
mean, there was
don't
a
like
guy.
it.
There was a guy in Tampa who used to call me and ask me what I thought of certain records.
Uh,
That's crazy. That's awesome.
But it gave me a lot of respect in the industry.
Yeah. What year is that?
That was like 1980 something.
Yeah. Dang. Right. It's but
It was
that must have been
crazy.
some. Yeah. It is. Just.
I'd love to
looking
have a
back.
Porsche now. I
Oh,
wish.
they're. I mean, if you're gonna get a Porsche nowadays, I still want to go to the older one, right? Sound Decision had one years ago. Actually, it's a funny story. I have to actually because he found it where here near me, they're in Michigan. I have to test drive it so that to check
Delaware.
in Delaware. I have to check it so that I know, if it's used. It's what year is that, Pat? That's
2004, so a
or
modern one.
04.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or for 911, I have to really test it. So, because it's used and visually, I have to take it visually and also do a test drive. But
Back
they
then
are
it was
fun.
worth $30,000.
Jesus Christ.
Back then.
You can get
Yeah.
a used one right now for not even 30K.
Be nice
I
to
don't
have
know.
that Porsche now with the sunroof. I was never really never one who really went crazy fast with it though. I got one speeding ticket, and I swear to this day I wasn't speeding, but they told me I was.
Yeah.
Maybe because of the car.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
stopped. I was driving home to watch the Super Bowl. I was upstate
Mm.
New York, and I was trying to make the Super Bowl. They said I was going 75. I don't think I was. But
You should tell me you're hurrying for the Super Bowl. They should have let you go.
yeah, well, they did.
Oh yeah, that's a good excuse.
It's
Yeah,
a good
so-
excuse.
That's the only time I ever got one speeding ticket. Not bad.
I have a question because we started the neighborhood raid train, and the idea was to promote smaller streamers. I mean, I think, Mr. Coops, Gus, we've been quite successful in it.
Yep.
You would think.
Yep.
But we need your advice. What else can we do to help out these smaller streamers?
Oh, the one that's starting.
We're not
too.
promoting records, but we're promoting smaller streamers. And,
Well,
and I would guess. I would
think
guess.
I think
Go
what's
on.
important.
Go for it.
I'm shutting up. Go ahead.
No.
No.
In my mind, we're looking for Mr. Coops, we're looking for streamers who have 2 viewers or 3 viewers sometimes, and then we invite them, and then they kind of grow. Some of them just leave Twitch at some point.
Because
But we want to. Yeah, we want to prick your brain. We want to help more people. Actually,
Well, I think the most important thing is, in this day and age, is social media.
Yep.
And making sure you're picking the right DJs. The DJs have to make sure they publicize it as well as you. That's important. There were some people who don't, move at all when you put them on a raid train. I just think it's important, and you make sure you surround yourself. Maybe have somebody who's not a small streamer raiding into a smaller streamer. Maybe balance it a little.
Actually,
Instead of having all
like
small streamers, maybe having a mixed crew.
sure.
I mean, it's not easy. I mean, I will say, and I'm going to call myself a little selfish here. I was on a raid train once, and I got raided with 5 people, and I was like, "Oh Lord, why did I do this? And this is when I was a little bit more concerned about my numbers. Now it's like, it's not that important, the numbers. I was a little, people were throwing things in my head like, you got to do this. You know, the numbers can wait.
That's very interesting, right? I mean, that's not also outside of rate training. I think what you said there is like, and I know Mike Freak also said it. It's like a lot of people, a lot of streamers when they starting getting fall in the trap of looking at the numbers, right? You know, for us right now, we've been through that. You know, we got paranoid. We got, you know, we will we thought other things. What can you say about people who are listening right now or chatting about worried about their numbers? What can you advise them?
Well, I think the most important thing, one of the most important things, is keeping a schedule.
Yep.
And going into other people's streams and saying hello.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a record promoter, so it's a little different for me. I go into streams, not only say hello, but I'm trying to get records played.
Yep.
But if I was just a streamer, I'd still like want to go in to other people's streams and say hello to people and, you know, socialize.
Yep.
It's not, it was a lot easier during the pandemic when a lot of us weren't working.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people not in the music business who weren't working. I was always working because I was trying to get records played. So for me, it was a little different. But, you know, if you go into people's streams and say hello and, you know, socialize and, you know, I mean, I would never ask anybody to go into my stream, but if somebody mentions it, I mean, it's great. But just socialize and get to know people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's
networking is so important.
Yeah, that's correct.
You know, I told I mean, now we're talking about Mike Freak. I kept saying, Mike, you got to come to Miami. You got to come to Miami. Network. You got a freaking record label. Come and network with me. Walk around with me. I mean, I'm you know, you'll know people that I don't know and vice versa. And well, he said, I'm coming to ADE. I said, okay, I'll go to ADE. But I was like, Mike, I called Mike last night. I'm going to say it the last time. You should be coming to Miami. But, you know.
I'm gonna drag Mike's ass out of Maryland and bring it to bring it to Miami. Yeah, I mean, network is 1,000%, right? Because it's not just Twitch; it's just to everything, right? At least on my job, I know I have to meet people. I have to talk to people. My youngest son always tell me, Dad, why are you talking to strangers all the time where we are? Son, I told him, it's not talking to strangers. You don't know what kind of business or whatever connection you're gonna get, you know, talking to people. I'm that type of person, although I'm shy, you can probably notice. Well, yeah, we'll talk to anybody in the bar. I cannot sit by myself and not talk. If somebody sit next to me, we're gonna talk.
Look, you never
That's my
know.
kind of personality.
You never know who's going to be next to you. You never know.
Right. Absolutely. I think that's true also for Twitch, right? But so we're all virtual. So what do? You go to
other streams.
Other stream, right? That's what Grace did when she started. Okay, go to other stream, right? You know, I don't do it because I'm busy at work, but I listen, and then we are a team. So we talk about, you know, streamers. And she asked me questions, and I said, "Go ahead, you know, talk." Because between the two of us, I'll be honest, Grace is very shy. If you meet her in person, she's the opposite, right? Twitch kind of gave her the boost of being out there. That's why her real name is something else, and then we took the name Grace because it's like her alter ego. She just, you know, it's just a different side of her, and I love that because I have, you know, I saw something that I've been. It's similar to my personality, and like I said, we are a team when we go to Twitch. You never really know who you're gonna meet, right? Just talking to people, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah, well, Grace certainly has made her presence known on Twitch.
Oh, you heard that,
good
Dave?
thing. A good
You
thing.
heard that, Dave?
I mean, she's very personable when she comes into a chat. She's always complimentary. She's kind. She's, you know, those are the kind of people you want.
Yeah. And I'm glad, you know.
And her show is good.
So
Now sending me feedback, that's another story.
Send feedback. Send feedback.
Send feedback. There you go.
Sending feedback. That's my biggest gripe on Twitch. Hardly anybody sends me feedback. And that's so important for me to get hired. The more
Yeah,
feedback I have, the better off it is. I went to TwitchCon in October.
How was
And
that? Yeah.
there was a panel. DJ Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch, had a panel, had a meeting of affiliates and partners.
Yep.
So being an affiliate, I was able to go, and I got up there and talked about the DJ thing and how I thought they could improve it. And I thought that what they should do is try to get detections, like when, let's say, either any one of us 3, 4 has a show, that they could have detections of what is really getting played, so the record labels could see what's getting actually played on Twitch. And he said they're working on I told them they should have a Twitch chart too. And yeah, he's right. I still hang out with Shaggy, by the way. I'm reading that from Karma. Crazy Karma is one of my mods. He's great guy.
Oh, we love
Great guy.
We love
Crazy,
Karma.
but great guy.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Crazy
being
in
here,
a good
Crazy.
way.
Yeah.
The name fits him well. But anyway, so I told him like it would be nice if they had like a chart of what's getting played on Twitch. It would create a lot of interest, and also would get the record companies a little bit more involved in the music end of Twitch. I mean, the gaming thing is so solidified, but the Twitch DJ thing is not all that. When I went to TwitchCon, it was like 99.9% gaming.
Yes.
As opposed to us DJs. And it was a little disheartening, but it was eye-opening. And I was the only person that got up at this conference and talked about the DJ thing.
Wow.
There was one person who got up. There was one person who got up and talked about them being a singer and doing a show on Twitch, but there was nobody else who got up and talked about the DJ thing.
Oh, we need more
It's kind of sad.
representation. Yeah, it's sad.
We were a very small contingent of what was there. But the one thing they did, one thing that was great, they had a ping pong table there. I played a lot of ping pong.
Mr. Coops and Gus, this technology idea of having a top track list from Twitch.
But
TikTok has it. TikTok has it. Twitch
But
should
it still
have
needs to
it.
come from Twitch, right? Because they really need
It
to
has to
promote.
come.
Well, he told me they have to work on getting copyrights on all. Like if you do a show and you put it on like tomorrow, let's say you did a show tonight, and if it got replayed, there are going to probably be blank parts in that show because they don't have the copyrights.
Right.
Correct.
And he told me that's what they're working on, but it's 5 months later. I don't see anything happening yet. Maybe they are doing something. I don't know. I'm not friends with Dan Clancy, so I don't know.
Well,
He is gonna be on Tweak Music Tips, though. I'm gonna give a little plug here. April 10th. I'll give a plug to my buddy Kova. He's gonna be on Tweak Music Tips.
wow, that'll be interesting. I have to check that out.
And trust me, I already told Kova. I got the question ready to go.
Yeah, let's go.
What happened?
There you go.
What's
Let's
going
all
on the
go.
last 5 months here?
Let's all go there and bombard them with questions.
Well, I'm curious to know what's
You
going
have
on.
to- you have
They
to be
told me they were
fair, right?
working on copyrights. It's 5 months later.
They're not working on
I
copyright.
don't get a report.
They're working on the next game, not.
Yeah.
But the thing is about copyright, right? So about all this thing, right? Because I used to work for a company called Music Choice, right? So they're
course.
still the number one music provider on cable TV. So they're on
Mhm.
Comcast. They're on everybody. Comcast owns
almost
everybody.
all the
yeah.
hotels. Yeah.
So that's really hard, right? To get around it. That's why it's hard to replay all this music without getting into all this legal stuff. I mean, back then, we got all the tools, DRMing tools that you kind of lock it, right? Even right now, the technology's there, I'll be honest, but there's still going to be other things outside of technology that will prevent it to doing. So it's tough. It's a tough industry. I'm going to say that. Especially digital music is a tough industry. I would say that. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, they got some work to do with the DJs, that's for sure.
I agree with that.
But I remain enthusiastic that Twitch can be a force.
So what do you think about Kick, though?
I really haven't paid that much attention to it. More geared, my mind is focused on Twitch. I didn't pay that much attention when all of a sudden people started going to Kick, but I don't hear much about it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Have
been quiet.
If you looked at it, anybody, some of your DJ buddies are on Kick right now.
My mind is so focused on Twitch, and I literally wake up in the morning and I put Twitch on, and I'm on it all day, except when I have to do some other things.
There you go.
I'll go from stream to stream, and hopefully hear one of my records. If I hear one of my records, I video it, and then I send it to the label at the end of the week.
Right.
Right.
That's great. Oh, these are a lot of fun conversation, DJ Pat. But I really want to get to our second segment of the show, outside of the outside of the neighborhood, and I want to include Bobby in some of this conversation. So I'm just gonna run a reel, and we're going to our next segment of next segment of the show, called Beyond the Neighborhood. So, Bobby, Beyond the Neighborhood's really everything outside of Twitch. Or we talk about a lot outside Twitch anyway, but this is where we actually talk about stuff that we saw on social media or somewhere that we want to bash or talk about, just like a couple of guys hanging and talking about something they found on TikTok, Instagram, or whatnot. Usually DJ Pat or Sound Decision actually picks all this topic, and I want to know what DJ Pat has in store for us. Usually we don't know what this is because she just brings us all this topic so we can be candid about it. Go ahead, DJ Pat. What do we have for today?
You know what? Last week, if you were, you probably skipped you missed the first part. I'm on a social media diet, so I've been successful for the past week. So I haven't found anything, but there's one thing. Since we were talking about basketball, there's one thing I want to show you guys, and let me know if you remember. Okay, this is 1998 NBA playoffs. Just check out what's happening here. Larry Bird was the coach of the Pacers, right?
Is this one?
Yeah. There was an offensive foul on Reggie Miller. He makes the three to win the game. Look at Larry Bird's face. He knew that they were going to be in trouble for game 5, 6, and 7 because he pissed off the GOAT. Bobby Promo, what do you think? I know you're probably a Knicks fan. Did he piss off Michael Jordan?
I'm going to tell you something. Michael Jordan is my favorite player of all time.
There you go.
Thank you.
Fuck that.
There was they can talk LeBron from today until tomorrow. They can talk. Dr. J was great too. I know that's way before your days. You weren't even born yet.
Oh, no, we don't. Yeah.
But Michael Jordan, I loved watching Michael Jordan. Great, just such a great player. And I don't know if he pissed him off, but he probably, made Michael aware, like, we better get our shit together.
I think that's exactly what happened. Because a lot of the Bulls players, when they were interviewed, they said this was the toughest series ever that they had to go through. It went game 7. The Utah Jazz series never went game 7.
Game 7. Yep.
They all ended game 6. But this one went game 7.
Well, Moses couldn't take them over the mountain.
Yep.
Moses couldn't take it. The Pacers roster.
For those who don't know, Moses Malone was a player on Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sixers fans. Sorry. Yeah. Well, okay, go ahead.
The Pacers had studs. They had Jalen Rose, Antonio Davis. Who else? Mark
Those
Jackson.
are some.
Who was their center? Didn't they have this big white guy as their center?
Rick Smith.
Rick Smith.
Yeah.
Rick Smith. Yep.
And Larry Bird's the coach. So he knew what to do against Jordan. And Jordan had to will that team.
You can only do so much.
Well, put it this way. Yeah. Cat's out of the bag. So you talk about that, Michael Jordan's also my favorite. And there's this talk in the internet pissing me off about the GOAT, right? a lot of people say now LeBron, right? LeBron versus Michael Jordan. I had this conversation dinner time with my son. We go back and forth who's the best, and then we talk about accolades. With Jordan has more, right, rings. But right now, Bobby, I want to ask you. I mean, people are putting LeBron as the GOAT just because of longevity. I won't take that away from him. He's been playing to this level. How old is he now?
I think he's 40,
30,
right? Is he 40, 39?
30 something, right? He's
30
not 40 yet,
something.
right?
I think
Yeah,
40.
yeah. But anyway, they've been comparing that. He just reached highest pointer of all time.
Oh,
What
world
can you,
in the world, yes.
yeah, in the world, is it,
Yeah.
can you put him in the GOAT because of this longevity, or is it more, it's because of accolades? What can you say about that? Who's really the GOAT is?
He's a great player. There's no denying that LeBron James is great, but I've seen them both, and Michael Jordan had some sort of electricity that
Mm,
it was just something there.
something
there.
different, and
Yep.
that influenced all. He influenced the LeBrons and the Kobe's. They wouldn't be here without Jordan. They wouldn't be the type of player they are without Jordan. Watching Jordan grow up when they were growing up, so that impact.
And and Bobby, you probably watch MJ on Madison, right? He said he loves playing on that crowd, on that venue. Must have been amazing to
The
to
Garden,
see him
yeah,
watch play against the Knicks on that state on
yeah.
Madison, right?
Absolutely. I'm not a big fan of the hierarchy in Madison Square Garden, but I root for the Knicks now. They got a pretty good team.
Oh, they
Yeah,
are.
they
They
are.
do. They
Yeah,
do.
They're doing
yeah.
okay this year.
They actually do. Jalen
Did
As a
you-
Brunson.
matter of fact,
is
they're on playing the Warriors right now.
Oh, who's up?
oh, wow.
My
Yeah.
man Steph Curry. I love Steph.
Yeah, yeah. But it's a different ball game, right? Right now. I mean, they're saying, I want to get your perspective, all of you guys here. I've been reading social media about Michael Jordan again bashing if LeBron James are playing with these plumbers, and see a picture of the Utah Jazz with Michael Jordan. It was Hornacek and John Stockton. If LBJ is playing with these plumbers, he will, he will dominate. I don't think they know Jeff Hornacek and John Stockton during that time. I mean, they look like plumbers, but man, they can ball, right?
They have no
What
idea.
can you say
Yeah.
about that? Because they're saying that time, defense, there's no talent against Michael Jordan. I disagree.
I disagree.
No.
Yeah.
And I think John Stockton was a good player. Great setup, man.
Dirtiest player ever.
He was a great defensive player. A lot of steals in his career. Underrated defensively. Talent, no way. There's so many. I mean, nowadays there's so many. It's the NBA. It's the top league. It's always going to be competitive.
Yeah, I think they're minimizing what. I will say though, no, you cannot touch. There's no you can't touch anybody right now on defense. The defense is shit right now because
That's why Shaq said
yeah.
Shaq said he was going to average 69 points nowadays because you can't touch.
You can't touch anybody.
You can't
right
touch
now.
anybody. Yeah.
There's so much 3-point shooting. It's ridiculous.
Agree.
I mean,
There
it's
was a
ridiculous
stat.
how many 3-pointers are shot these days.
So I saw a stat that Draymond Green has more shot attempt or the same shot attempt as Larry Bird's 3-point shot attempt of all
From
time.
three.
Isn't that crazy?
I think Draymond Green is like either you love or you hate him.
I love him. He's
I
from
love
our
him
area.
too. I love him.
It's good.
So Draymond Green, Madonna, they're all from this area. Gus is from this area.
I love
We love
Draymond
him.
Green. I love his attitude.
Yeah, but you missed that. Like back in the Knicks days, right? Anthony Mason. Who else? Charles Oakley.
Charles Smith who missed the layup against
Charles Smith.
Yeah.
Yes.
missed
They're
a
gonna
big
kill you.
layup against the Bulls in the playoffs. Never forget it.
Yeah. Oakley, Charles Smith, Ewing.
Charles Oakley, they
Starks.
treated him so bad at Madison Square Garden when he
I
retired.
hate. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's why you're not a fan of the high.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hierarchy.
The Dolan hierarchy.
The Dolan hierarchy. I'm not into them at all.
Yeah. Yeah. That's too bad. You have that type of owner.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I know.
No
I
worries.
know. All right, that was a great conversation. We all know now that you're all sports fans here, so we can we can relate to that. Do you have any other thing that you want to talk about on the beyond the neighborhood sound decisions?
Nothing. Yeah. I wanna let's have Bobby promote his stuff. We're at 10:30 right now, so I want to make sure he's able to promote his stuff, his
Uh,
Twitch channel and all that.
Nah, we don't have to do that.
Yeah. Well, how about any other plans that you want? I know you're going to Miami tomorrow at 7 a.m. Any other upcoming things that you want to promote? Not for you, but others. That you want to tell the audience.
Anything.
No, not really. If you want to, come watch me on my Twitch show on Saturday nights. I love playing on Saturday nights. It's so much fun for me.
Yeah.
So there you go.
If you get some
to the
time,
audience.
come on in. You might like it, you might hate it. If you don't like it, leave. There's a
Please-
million choices on Twitch.
Please tell the audience what time on Saturday. So we
8
can
o'clock
meet.
New York
8
time.
o'clock. Yep.
8
I
o'clock.
will get out of lurk,
But,
Bobby. I
this
promise.
was not about promoting my show, but thank you for asking.
I'm gonna be out of lurk to say hi. We can chat. And again, guys, if you
That's
have
okay.
not
Grace
been to
says hello
Bobby-
for you.
if you haven't been to Bobby's show, amazing.
The thing is now, I want to find out Grace's real name.
I will.
You opened up
I
a
will-
can of worms here.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so I will whisper it to you. I mean, I'll
That's
chat.
okay. I really just want to
What's the history
keep it
of
secretive.
Grace? Yeah,
Keep it
I will
secret.
tell you the history for sure. And then we can talk about it when you see you in April. So April, we're putting it on the calendar already. We have to go. I found this really nice Thai place right in the village that we want to take you. Yeah, it's very good. I hope you like Thai food, but it's one of the best.
I do like Thai food.
Yeah, so we're gonna take you there. Great, we have a spot there that Grace and I usually go. So definitely, gonna take you out for lunch or dinner, and maybe some drinks. And maybe you can get me in some of the
I'll
bars.
tell you what I
know?
really love about Philly. I love the Philly
Yeah.
market.
Oh, Reading, come over. Yeah,
I love that
Who
Reading
Who
market.
doesn't? Who doesn't?
Yeah, you
Everyone
have
goes to
to go,
Philly.
Bob. Let one weekend. Just tell me ahead of time. I'll pick you up on the train station. I'll take you to the Reading Market, and we'll have a feast. I got a few spots there, new spots that I will. We're gonna pick out. I know you love food, so
I
I'm
do
gonna
like
take you
food.
there.
I mean, I watch what I eat, but I do like food. That's
Yep.
for sure.
Awesome. Well, Bobby, I know we can talk for more, but we're gonna end it right now. Thank you so much. We're really very fortunate.
Thank you for this opportunity. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I hope this was different for you, kind of different from your other interviews. We talk a lot about a lot of your personal life. We haven't really dealt in the sex life, but maybe
okay.
in the next episode.
That'll
'cause we need
that'll be another topic altogether.
we started with it, but
Let's put it
you
this way.
tease the audience. Everybody's
put it-
waiting for that.
Let's put
We
it this
started
way.
with that talk.
I think we shouldn't grace anybody with that topic.
Oh, okay.
But really, Bobby, thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
indulging
Thanks for
us.
having me. I mean, this is
Thank
fun.
you.
I
We
hope
love-
it
we
was
love
fun
this.
for you.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
I really loved that. Like we were so like I wasn't given in advance like what we're going to ask you about. Let's just do this off the top of our heads, and that's kind of how I like it.
Yes.
Yes.
And then this is our first season. We're gonna kind of take a break around on the summer, but I hope to get you back on the next season.
Sure.
We'd love to have you back.
We'd love
This
to see
has
you
been
again,
really
yes.
fun. I mean, behalf of Gus and Pat, this is and people could say this is the most fun we had in some of our episodes. So thank you
It's
so
fun.
much.
I mean, I love talking about the business. I like talking. Period. So I'm a promotion person. If you're a promo person, you better like to talk.
Yes.
Well, we
I
love
agree.
your stories.
Yeah.
That's
We
for
love
sure.
your stories. So,
So
guys-
stories, whatever. I just like talking. I like being around people.
So we have another segment. No dumb question. I think we're gonna skip it today. We had so much fun. Thank you all for again joining us every Monday, 8:30. We have a lot more guests in the next coming week. So please stay tuned. More conversation. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank
You,
you.
everybody.
Thank you,
And
Bobby.
we're gonna
Be
end
safe,
it here.
everybody.
Thank
And
you so much. Have a good night, everybody. Thank
and
you for
also-
watching.
welcome to spring this week.
Yes.
Oh, not for
Spring.
us.
That's for
Oh my
us.
Let's go.
God.
Let's go. Thank
We're
you, guys.
suffering. We're suffering.
Bye. Hey, I'm so sorry. Happy birthday.
No.
Since please greet our very own Mr. Coops a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We can raid. Mr. Coops, who do you want to raid for your birthday?
Voyage, you can rate anybody you want.
Please follow us on Spotify and on YouTube.
Watch out for the replay on YouTube, guys. Go to our YouTube channel. If you haven't watched it, thanks so much.
See you next week.
See you next week. Ending. Bye.